All right, we are live. All right. Peace and love, family. What's going on? It is your boy Mario Quinn, and we are here with yet another episode of the Level Up Podcast. And family, as always, I'm super excited for today's episode. This is episode 115. We took a little hiatus. Of course, we have a lot of things going on, both in business and, of course, personally. So we took a little bit of a break, but we're back. Excited for episode 115. I'm more so excited about our special guest that we have on the show. This is one of the homies, so I'm excited to do this interview. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce our special guest, my boy Grizz. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to be here.
Yes, sir.
Man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No doubt, man. I thank you for taking the time to be on this show, and of course, appreciate your patience. I know sometimes we get started a little later than expected, so definitely appreciate y'all, folks. If you're tuning in, please share this link. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify or Apple or any of those things, please share this link with your friends. The idea is to get this out to as many people as possible, so that we can continue to do this good work. But Grizz, I know you. The folks don't know you that well, so if you could just explain, who you are, where you're from, and all that good stuff, brother.
All right, word. Well, my name is Elijah Ash. I'm from Hazelwood. And that's me. I'm 24 years old. I'm a dad, single dad.
Word.
Yeah, man. What's up? I do music. I rap.
Dope.
Lyrically, I put it together. And perform.
Dope. Yeah. Well, we met a really long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Been doing this for
you've been. So I know you've been doing it for a while, right? And so for those who are watching, we know that things don't happen overnight. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication. Can you speak a little bit just on your journey, how you got into music, and what made you want to continue to do music at the level that you're doing it now?
To be honest, I grew up in a hip hop house.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was into it really heavy, from DJing to doing his own thing, and he had a band when I was growing up, Bricktop.
Okay.
And my mom was into graphic design. They both came here for school and met and had me and all my brothers. So yeah, when it comes to music, it was just like the soundtrack to my life. To be honest, there's a lot of artists. I can't tell you like the name. You would ask me and be like, so and so. I'm like, you know what I mean? But I used to like listen and sit down on like the basement steps. My dad used to have like turntables and he used to like spin. So it'd be, anything and everything, just be like, you would feel it. So it'd be like, I don't know that artist, but you play something for me. Like, nah.
I remember that song. That shit. Bro, that's my childhood. I would say this. I have to speak on this because a lot of my friends, they are some serious freaking hip hop heads, right? Yeah. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't raised in a hip hop house. I was raised in a very gospel ass house. You know what I'm saying? But like, throughout my teenage years, hanging out with certain people, I got introduced to hip hop and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But like, literally, people ask like, bro, you ever heard of so-and-so? I'm like, nah, bro. Then they'll play the song, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like singing and shit. Yeah. They're like, oh, I thought you said you didn't. I'm like, I just didn't know them by name. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Just helped me out for because like it just, and I love when like certain sounds, smells take you back to a memory.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, ironic enough, I was sitting on the steps because I ain't like the smoke. You know what I mean? So I used to just sit up on the steps and listen.
Right.
But a lot of those tracks would go down. Like, you know what I mean? Especially I would say Wu-Tang. So there was like there's like this tape. It's called Survival of the Illest, Def Jam. It's a tour tape. But I think it was the Apollo. They performed that. And DMX headlined it. But it had Onyx on there. It had Method Man was on there. Def Squad. Cannabis was on there. Foxy Brown, like it's just a bunch of, and it was a crazy set. But all these different artists, I kind of like took something where it was like, all right, from stage presence to the energy to the call and response, the crowd participation, like everything. Like there's so many things I peaked, but that was what made me feel like I wanted to be an artist.
Right.
I used to go up in my room and shit.
Right.
I feel like
in practice, he'd be up there like
I used to run across the room and dive into my bed thinking I'm stage diving. For real. So
that's
like,
dope.
You know what I mean? That was like always the I would say the vision of it. You know what I mean? So I don't know, other kids may dream about like what their, you know what I mean, getting married. You know what I mean, I thought about having kids and rocking stages.
I love it. I love it.
So we got into it early. And when we grew up, Hazelwood, it was considered, you know what I mean, the armpit of the city. You ride through right now, they gentrifying.
Yeah, it's something
like,
to come up, as they would call it. Yeah,
it's crazy to see, but like, you know, where we used to grow, our stomping grounds was, you know, serious. It was used as like a tool to keep us out of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? We had 2 prerequisites before we, like, you know what I mean, we could go out and perform and do music. And we brought it to our parents. It was, you had to be 4.0 students and you had to be doing something positive.
That's dope.
So we birthed the Underlords, you know.
You know, and like I said, I remember the Underlords. I remember all your brothers. I mean, you got a lot of brothers. But
I'm the third oldest of 8.
Of 8, okay, yeah. I remember. Oh, it was. I'm like, damn. But one thing that I remember was like, you guys had this level of professionalism that was so impressive for like a young group of people. What was instilled in you guys? Like you just spoke on the 4.0 and doing something positive in terms of like your dad and your parents and stuff like that. Like, what did they instill in you guys that like gave you that like, we take this shit seriously. We might be young and we might be kids, but we're about that shit.
It was never challenged in the sense of like, you know, I would say it was never fake and it was never challenged. You know what I mean? So our confidence was never challenged, but we were tested. You know, my dad's off the chain. Dad's off the chain. Fucking crazy. But like, you know what I mean? When it gets to that level, and I mean, it's a big thank you to ask about because you know what I mean, he showed me what it was.
Right.
But when we first started to do it, it was actually on some, I would say, like some playing around shit. My uncle Darius, he has like a studio set up in his basement. It's really a computer on one side, and on the other side like, is a bathroom. Okay. You know what I mean? But that's where the mic set up. That's the roof and shit. Right. And really, you know what I mean? He be sitting on the, you know what I mean, taking the shit and just freestyling for real. But like, you know what I mean? He said, some of this should be hard, so I gotta record it. You know what I mean? But funny. Like one day we went down there and was like, you know what I mean, and started fucking around with it, and showed it to our dad, put together something, showed it to our dad, and he was like, "Oh, word, this is dumb," and he saw the potential in it. So we put together a real single that was "Break It Down" at the time, and he like put it to the test and say, "All right, let's see what you guys can do," and we put you in position, and we executed, and it was like, "All right, word." So it was test after test, so we realized like, no, we were about it. Right. And then on the other side, it was them teaching us the business and how to protect ourselves and how to move about it. So for so long within the group, I got to like truly study like what it was like to be an artist and what it was like to move like the manager's perspective of shit for so without having to be in that position, right? Like you're still an artist, right? You know, so even with that, like the transition to becoming a solo artist myself has been like, you know, all right, you just go back to your training. It's been boot camp. Right. So these different challenges, and as soon it became no longer challenges to, all right, now now it is what it is. Right. You know what I mean? Now we just executing. It's just, you know, nothing's a challenge at this point. Now it's all like, we feel like we don't put the work in, and everything's just like, I look at it as if it's not now, it's later. Right. So you know
I love that. I love it. I'm gonna give you a couple of slow snaps. Now, I got 2 questions. I'm gonna ask one at a time though, but I do have 2 questions. But my first question, you know, where we are in the music industry now, you know, we have the internet, everything is being streamed. It's really easy to distribute your own music and all that, and you can kind of blow up just on your independent kind of shit. So like, how different is it for you, you know, now that you're a solo artist, you know, in terms of before when you were in the Underlords?
It's even, I would say, past that to when we it moved to the Woo Lords, you know, in that movement.
That was gonna be my second question. You beat me to it. All right.
What's it called? With that, it's both a challenge and it's also been a like amazing experience. You know what I mean? It's a challenge because now all those things that you know, it was the whole team. It was a machine behind both of those movements. And I was a kid, you know what I mean? So yeah, it feels way different to stand on it and be like, oh, every part of this I had my hands in. You know what I mean? Every part of this has been like, what's it called? My movement, my push. And then it's a learning experience where you're like, wow, you know what I mean? There's a lot of shit that you have to, like, you know what I mean, put that comes into it. You know what I mean? As easy as it is to blow up and do that, it can't discredit the work. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of people who get that, you know what I mean, that shot a little light, but it's how you know, capitalize on it. You know what I mean? How you put yourself in position, and then who you know, and the I would say the connections that you make, the networking. So there's a lot of things that are in play that comes to having that shot and, you know, executing on it. So yeah, like when we got with Wu-Tang, it was like, for me as a kid, I'm thinking like, I mean, we on, like, we on, I mean? And what's it called? It was never we weren't signed or anything. It was pure love, you know what I mean, respect for, I would say, us in the craft, and, you know, it's just mutual understanding for but it wasn't like that, and it was on some, we're not blood. So, you know what I mean, we know that we're not just gonna get a shot. You know what I mean? The shot was, if you can make it there, you know what I mean, you there. And we've been on that movement for a long time. So you know.
So was it, so in terms of that experience, like being the Wu Lords and being with Wu-Tang, was it more of a, hey, we're giving you like this, I don't want to use the term piggyback, but like we're allowing you to use the name and the brand, but you got to make your own thing with it? Is that kind of what it was? Or?
No, it was like we're affiliates, official affiliates. But it was in that sense, when we were trying to I would say facilitate that. So the story of how it went down, we got information Wu-Tang was coming, and I'm like, huge Wu-Tang fan. I got meth tatted on my arm and shit, for like, I think about like top 5 what movements that made me want to do this. I mean, Wu-Tang has to be up there. Method Man is one of my, I mean, I think he's my top 5. I mean, one of the favorite lyricists. I mean, to put it down the flow and shit, you know. But we got information they was coming in, I think it was 2010 going into 2011, and they were performing at Mr. Small's New Year's Eve, and we knew what hotel they were going to be at, everything. We showed up, showed love, you know, and they were real receptive. We showed up, first person to, like, I mean, like, I would say bring us in was Raekwon. He brought us on the tour bus, and, like, I mean, checked out everything we had. And it was like, all right, word. But like, it was like on some, we gave him a stack of CDs. He's like, which one should I play? I said, any of them. He said, what songs should I play? We said, any of them. I was like, damn. He threw it in there, and he played one track from like every CD. And
they was fucking with it. That's so dope, his bro. Shit. That's so dope. How old were you in that moment?
I was in 6th grade.
So like, what's that, like 12?
Yeah, like 11? 13. Maybe.
I forget the ages. I'm so old. Anyway, that's still young as fuck. So that experience, I would be shitting my pants now if I met anybody from Wu-Tang. I'm like, oh, God, you know. So that's dope. Sorry, but I know you have more. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you.
It was like truly amazing. So like, I ain't even setting the scene correctly. I'm sorry. He brought us onto the tour bus, and sitting there is you guys. I mean, on the chessboard and shit. Just about to step out to go smoke a black and shit, which to me is like, you know what I mean, like, blew my mind. It was like, oh shit. But he stayed there for a minute to check us out, and then he didn't say shit to us after we it went off and everything. I mean, he just went out. I mean, he kind of gave us that nod. He's like, you know what I mean. He went to the back, woke somebody up out the back. He got up. You just seeing like the chain swinging for real. Yeah, it's Ghost. Like, you know what I mean, who would meet the kid? You come up, dap us up and shit.
That's
so
sick.
Like, at this point, it's like, it's like beyond surreal. It's like, nah, this shit like real as fuck. And like, I mean, I'm in 6th grade. These niggas is hovering over them like shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I love it.
So and then we had kicked it. We kicked it outside the whole day. Like, they went up, you know what I mean, did their thing. They came out. You know what I mean? It was like, basically they had took it up, showed the other members and shit. Everybody came down, gave us a drop, got us up, showed us love, took us to the show with them, brought us backstage, brought us on stage with them. And basically it was like, you know what I mean, next year y'all gonna open up for us. You know what I mean? As soon as we get off this tour, we're gonna hit your peoples up. the day after they got off tour. I mean, hit us up.
That's amazing.
It was basically like, here it is. Earn that. And for us, like, that's all we needed. You just said what? I'm an official Wu-Tang affiliate. Right. We can use that Wu. Right. We could take the Wu, put our name in the middle of it. And like do it on a scale where like, we everywhere with it. Like we got collaborations with members and shit. Right. It's love, and also for me, it's like, moving on and doing my thing is like, I feel like I got that shit in my back pocket. Right. You know what I mean? Like I was doing that shit. I was in 6th grade. Right. That was high school for me.
And it's cool because it's like, once you're, at that place, and I truly believe that you'll get there because you're very talented. You know what I mean? What's up, Mikey? Hi, Mikey. Don't you microwave that right now, Mikey? We live, Mikey. Mikey trying to microwave stuff, y'all. This is what I got to deal with here at Level Up Studios. In the studio, he said niggas got to eat. You know what? Go ahead, Mikey. I don't care. They probably can't hear. Go ahead. Just don't shut the door too loud.
It's a little close.
Anywho, we're Creative Art Studio, so there's a lot of activity that goes on while there's activity going on. Anywho, I lost my goddamn thought because of Mikey. What the fuck was I going to say? I forget. Well, I'm going to go on to my next question. So you said that you're a big Wu-Tang fan. I was doing my due diligence and researching your music, and I stumbled upon a new release you got. So before I get to that, I gotta ask this question. Sorry, family. If you're just now tuning in, though, this is episode 115. We are accepting questions. I got my boy Grizz in the building. So if you have a question, please leave a comment. We will try to read them off as they come in. So please engage with us and we will engage back. But Grizz, I noticed that when doing my due diligence and researching what you got going on, that your name is fuckyougrizz. Yes. Now we had a short conversation about it previously where you were like, the fuck you is silent, yes, which is the funniest shit I've ever heard. But just explain how that idea came about, what that means, why is it silent, and everything like that.
All right, so for me, it's like my name growing up has been Grizz. Mm-hmm. Like, my mom calls me Grizz.
Okay.
So that's just always been what it's been. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not like a gimmick or anything. I got two reasons why you add the fuck you to the beginning of it for me. Number one, I feel like when it's all said and done, wherever this goes, where, I'm doing this for a specific purpose and it's for myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's been a process of self-love, mm-hmm, and rediscovery and understanding, So this solo effort is like me, putting everything into it, and it's the most vulnerable selection of music, mm-hmm, and even understanding the process and how I'm releasing it in the phases that I'm going to be doing. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't understand it yet because I ain't, when you get there. But when it's all said and done, wherever this goes, wherever height is at, I got a long list of fuck yous, of people who came in, seen what it was, came out, people try to play me, people who, so many scenarios where you're like, I can't call y'all all up because that'd be toxic. Right, that'd be petty as fuck. Call everybody up individually, be like, yeah, man. Remember when you you remember when you said I wasn't smart enough for yeah, fuck you. Right. So whenever you see my name, you see my face, whatever, it's going to fuck you first. And to me, it's always going to be a reminder to me. My second reason is it's always like a reminder to me that it's been me against the world. You know what I mean? Well, when you're down and out, when it's bad for you, it's just you got to live in that. Right. You know what I mean? People can tap into that emotion and feel you, but it's fleeting. You know what I mean? You don't want to have to sit in it, and it may be like small or minuscule to somebody else, but to you, that's it could be devastating. So it's whenever you get to that point where people are going to see you and look at you either as an opportunity or as with a certain type of image, or I would say underlining agenda behind it. You know what I mean? When people look at you and you see gold or opportunity or a target, it's like they still gonna address you fuck you first. and I kind of know. I mean, if you know, you know what I mean, you come to me, you address me as Grizz. You know what I mean, you run up on me talking about fuck you Grizz. I'm like, oh, what you mean?
So I mean, I love that. I love that's so deep.
And then also, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I got
a third reason. I got a third reason for it too.
Wow.
Yeah, usually I try to put things together. I try to make them in threes. I feel like that lasts, the longest. It's a solid structure. It's a solid, concept if you can interpret it 3 ways. I feel like. But my third reason for it, and even goes to like that tape I was telling you about, Survival of the Illest. Redman, when he was on stage, he'd be like, "Say fuck you, fuck," and I always took it as like, I'm kind of like the fighter, like Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? Like the fight ain't started. You know what I mean? The fight ain't started till like you see blood.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
come on.
Then I come out slapping niggas. You know what I mean? Like, what's up?
That's hard.
You start hitting them sub like, I ain't shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, the fight ain't start to, you get bloody, or like MJ or Kobe. They on the court. Why the fuck would you make Kobe mad when you playing Kobe? You know what I mean? Why would you try to get underneath his skin, get that man mad?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Then he's gonna go off crazy.
Yeah, Kobe torch you. You know what I mean? So
I love it.
It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? You put me in my zone. You know what I mean? That's when I create my best.
Right.
I mean, that's when I go my hardest, when I'm doubted. And people look at me like, oh, when it's fuck you, it's like, oh, it's fuck me. Like, word.
It's like that's when you turn up. Cornering a wild animal. You don't want to do that. It's a very bad idea. They will fuck you up.
I swear.
Literally. Nah, that's dope, man.
I goes to back, Pee-wee football days, Hazelwood Cobras. You know what I mean? Put us in that corner. And we're going to strike back.
Right. Period.
Yeah.
Period. Well, I love it, man. I love that you broke it down into threes, because three is six is my favorite number, but I like 3, 6, 9.
Hell yeah, 3's my favorite number.
That's just like, that's the universe in a whole, if you break it down like that.
Sure.
But no, man, that's dope. So I know you mentioned earlier, so you mentioned that you're a single father. I'm a dad. Yes. I'm a parent. And I've noticed, it's a lot to balance, right? But I have my partner and everything like that. We do our best and all that, but like, how do you balance like being a creative, being an artist, and pursuing these dreams, while also maintaining, that balance with like family life and stuff like that?
I would say this comes second. Life like really has a way of humbling you. And I would say there's a certain ego that's built when you are that young and into it, and then every step you're kind of told like, you're the shit, you're the shit, you're the shit. Things are like, you know what I mean? So like, as being a grown man and put in a position where you have to make things ends meet, and you have to put things together, and I would say there's no point where you can't have it. You know what I mean? It's like you could be down and out, whatever it is. My daughter's just still gonna look at me like, Juice, right. Make a move now. I mean, it's like your tears be rolling down your face.
Bad day don't mean shit to them.
I swear. I mean, they may console you like a little bit and be like thirsty. Right. You know what I mean? So, for me, it was like, there's no point where you can just be down, or you can't have it. You know what I mean? It was always like, it changed purpose of everything. Made me I would say reevaluate the person that I was to women, the energy that I put out, like regardless, you don't want to be looking over your shoulders or having a name that gets inherited. You know what I mean? So, and then also at the same time, for me, it was like kind of having to, like I said, rediscover yourself and make sure, like, is your identity all you, or like, is all I am a father? You know what I mean? You don't want to get to that point with it where you feel like, I guess, stuck, because it's a certain resentment that gets built there. You know what I mean? And I feel like me just understanding that and understanding myself, learning myself through this process, you know, and becoming a father, and then having 2 back to back is like, I am absolutely wrapped around my daughter's fingers, man. Like, anything they want, they can get, and they look at me like I'm like a superhero. You know what I mean? I come in like they want me to carry them both
at the same time.
Right. Like I had fucked up my shoulder a couple weeks ago. I came out, I was like, I can't carry y'all both. Like, you know what I mean? Daddy's shoulders. Like, no, I carry them both. Like, I'm saying,
that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
But nothing compares to that. But for me, I grew up thinking the same of my parents. You know what I mean? And at a certain point, you start to realize, like, we're all human. We make mistakes. We all have our, you know, at a certain point, when it becomes real, I'm trying to be as close to that as possible. You know, you come ask me for anything, you know what I mean? I got you. Like, you know, not like, oh, you gotta wait for it. Like, nah, it's yours. Like, you know what I mean? And then also, like, being able to teach them, you know, like, in a different way, I feel. You know, it's different than to tell somebody, all right, this is how you start a business. But, like, I'll give you the money to, you know, I say invest into that. But you got to show me the business plan. You got to show me this. And my daughters are, like, really young. Let me think about shit. Long, big picture. But yeah, it changed the way I say I approach everything. And with music, for me, it was like, I want them to be like, yo, your daddy's the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, my daddy's the shit.
Definitely want to be the cool dad. That's for sure.
Like, I always knew that when I was a kid. Like, I wanted to have a lot of kids.
Right.
And I want to be a cool fucking dad. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude. Well, you're definitely, I said probably, you're definitely a cool dad. I'm sure of it. Who do you know who XZ8 is?
Yes.
Who's that?
That is my brother. An amazing artist. We got some new shit that's dropped recently, and we got some new shit in the works. But amazing artist, amazing skater.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing skater. He's one up skate shop.
Oh, dope. That's your little brother that was just here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because he definitely had the skater look. But he said, bro said 369. That's the universe. Facts. That's funny. That's funny. Awesome, man. Well, let's get down to the nitty gritty. So let's talk a little bit about the music. Let's talk about, you know, I guess first off, I you know, did my due diligence, like I said earlier, and saw that you had a song. I got it pulled up. Meth times Red. Let's talk.
Red.
Oh, Meth and Red. Okay, my bad. I said X. I didn't say and, y'all. I can read. It said X. Meth and Red.
Sorry.
Talk about that record right there, man.
Like I said, I got Method Man tatted. I got Wu-Tang tatted. Growing up, I remember, like, there's certain foods, like, I mean, I just can't do. You know what I mean? Certain foods I just can't do. Shrimp was one of them shits. I remember the day Meth and Red's TV show came out. It was called Meth and Red. It came out. My mom made shrimp, and I had to sit at that table and miss like half the show. And for me, it was like, fuck, like, yo, you know what I mean? In your head, like, you know what I mean, cussing somebody out, just like, man,
I'm trying to watch this episode. This goddamn
like, for real, yo, like, I mean, tonight of all nights, I feel like, I mean, you set me up,
right?
But yeah, man, it for me growing up, like, that was serious. Like, you know what I mean? You think about people just like was cool as fuck to you. Or you used to watch How High, and the thing that I always studied was the performance and how the chemistry was. You know what I mean? To not be brothers, but to move like that. You know what I mean? How they played off of each other, their energy, how they complimented each other. You know, and to take the we heads from two groups. You know what I mean? And put them together and make another group. It's like, and to individually shine like so crazy. You know what I mean? And not to, like, you know what I mean, shadow either one, and you bring it together. I always felt like admired that and was like, yeah, like, you know what I mean, looked up to that, and it inspired me. So it was one of those in that series of like releasing tracks of title by, let's say, artists that inspired me and made me want to do it. That one, and then got my brother on it. I mean, you know, better chemistry than that.
That's great, because I ain't gonna lie, bro. I thought that was all you the whole time. I'm like, because I didn't like read. Yeah. I just played the joint, and I'm like, yo, this shit hard. Like, I don't know if I was in there flowing. Y'all rapping, rap. They rap, y'all. They rap. Definitely check it out. You just go to Spotify or Apple, whatever, and you type in "fuck you, Grizz," and check it out. Meth and Red, definitely a fire.
Ain't nothing but me gonna pop
it's a fire. I typed in "fuck you" and you first thing to pop up was you. So all I typed in was "fuck you," and you popped right up. So you got the follow from me today, so for sure. And I think I added you to one of my playlists too. Just to show some love and everything like that, because I definitely like it. Dope. So how your brother is his rap name XZA? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Definitely follow him as well, y'all. Check him out on everything if you can. Dope. So you got that out. So I noticed that was the only thing. That's
the only thing that we have out, like I would say, underneath that name.
Okay.
We had a little bit of a confusion starting out. So you can find Grizz DMX. That's the first track that I released. And that's also up on all platforms. But you can find literally every song that I put out, any of my freestyles, because I have a few other tracks on my website. fuckyougrizz.com.
Okay, cool.
Hell yeah.
So I definitely want to check that out. So
that first track it puts me in like a catalog of another artist named Grizz, or other artists named Grizz.
Oh yeah, because there's a couple. There's someone like 1Z, and all that. That's so strange. Okay, I see. Okay, I see the hoodie. Yep, that's you right there. I'm not gonna click it. I'm just gonna keep it saved. I don't want that shit to play out loud.
And that one serious. That's a less of a, I say, inspired by, but more of a tribute to DMX.
Okay.
DMX was another, let's say, top 5 artist for me, influence. And the way he headlined that set on that tape, you just knew like it's a difference. You know what I mean? He wasn't out there rapping faster than it. Just the energy, just the confidence, the aggression, everything, like, the passion, because he ended it with like a prayer. You know what I mean? Damn near broke into like a cry and shit. And you're like, damn, right? It's like I saw like Jay-Z.
I was gonna ask if you saw it.
I saw something like it reminded me of that tape. I'm like, like they ain't know he's going after that. You should be the headline.
That interview's crazy.
But yeah, like when I heard about him passing, like I don't really ever like feel a celebrity death, but that one should hit. I felt like
it was like him and Nipsey for me was like fuck.
Yeah, and I wasn't really into. I never like no I mean issue or nothing, but like I never really get into West Coast. Like my pops was from New York, so like a lot of like the shit they showed us was all East Coast, so like you asked me Tupac or Biggie, I'm going Biggie all day, just because like what I mean. That's how I was raised.
That's respectfully, Hey,
for sure. But that's I lost my lost my place for
he said, what was we talking about? So we're talking about you were talking about the confusion of the two different names and stuff like that, and the tribute to DMX that you made, and now you got the Meth times Red, and I guess I'll just bounce off that into my next question. So what do you, because I know something specific that you said earlier that really stood out to me was you were like, I have a specific plan on how I'm going to release things. Can you talk to the people about what that's going to look like? You don't have to give like crazy detail, but just your thought process in terms of releasing this new content.
So I took a hiatus. It was a 6-year hiatus, just in the birth of my children, and I would say other factors that made it. So it took a little break from music, but I would say there was a lot of things that I had to heal during that time. So even with what I'm pushing forward, I will be releasing a collection in December. It's called I Fucking Love You, and that'll be like the next phase. But right now, it's more so a lot of, I say, hyper aggression. You know what I mean? If you understand, I guess, how men, deal with their trauma or depression, you would think that, oh, you would be sad and down, and a lot of times it doesn't show its face like that. A lot of times it's aggression. You know what I mean? You have a lot of people out here committing crimes, murders, and you think like, oh, something's wrong with them, but like, I mean, something is wrong, but they know how to heal it properly or how to identify it.
Right.
And a lot of times we mistake our emotions. So the I would say the biggest piece that I want people to like key in on and understand when trying to interpret what I'm doing, and even from the name to the use of aggression or concepts it's coming from a place of anger. It's coming from a place of hurt. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that was built up. And when this music was being written and created, like I said, when I'm down bad, that's when you're going to get the best. Right. You know what I mean? I feel like adversity, it creates, good content.
Real shit.
For sure.
Real shit.
Pain, hurt, it creates an emotion that people can tap into. I say is more real. I used to love. Excuse me.
No, you fine. Okay, we do got a question, but you say you used to love, because I want to hear what you're about to say, and then I want to also add to what you just said from my perspective.
I love writing, whether in any form, because to me it's a very beautiful art to, especially when dealing with, I would say, fiction, where you could create a world, create a character, create a whole scenario, and make people feel something, whether it's happy, sad, mad about a character. Like, I mean, I just made it up. It's someplace that doesn't exist. But to be able to manipulate language, same words we're using right now, to make you feel something or imagine something, or picture something that's real. Right. I feel like it's so beautiful. But the emotion of pain and hurt to tap into, and not from a place of like, I feel like everybody can get it, but when you felt it, a lot of times I feel like artists alter what it's really like. You know what I mean? It's a certain type of vulnerability that comes into being like, yeah, like my heart's broke. You know what I mean? Like that shit hurt. Or, I got played, or you know what I mean? My pride's hurt. There's a lot of things that happen over pride. There's a lot of things that happen over embarrassment, expectation. You know what I mean? Of like looking around like, damn, like you think I'm a bitch now, or you know what I mean? Like, shit, niggas, you crying? Like, nah, nigga. And so, and growing up, you know what I mean, they tell you to suck it up. You know what I mean? They call you like anything when it's like you don't know how those things shift or change and alter how you maneuver through life as an adult, how you maneuver through relationships and certain things I had to realize. And like, I feel like with the upcoming music, I'm taking you through my process. So there's a lot of songs right now freestyling where it's either coming from a place of I'm the shit because I deserve to have that I'm a shit. I'm not doing it for anybody. Like if nobody listens to my shit, I still be making music. You know what I mean? It's for me. So I think when I put words together, I'm the shit. Right. Period. Like I don't get into, like I said, I don't get into sports. I mean, I don't really do shit. I smoke. I work on music. And I be around the crib talking to myself, thinking like, yo, bro, like, did you hear that? Like, wait till I talk.
He said talking to myself.
Yeah, like I mean, I be mumbling. Shit. Like I be at work mumbling.
You ever get caught?
Oh,
talking to yourself, niggas looking at you like,
I turn around and be like, "Woo, you hear that nigga? This guy on fire right now." I just busted out in the middle of nowhere, and be like, "Bro, I'm hard." Right. Like swear. It's like what?
No, I love that.
Like, I love that. That shit nice, bro. But I feel like everybody deserved that. Right. You know what I mean? It's no shade or a jab at you. I feel like you should feel that about you. You know what I mean? And I encourage that. I condone that.
A lot of artists don't. They like. I mean, now, mind you, there's music that I've made that I'm like, I don't really love that song. But most of my music, like I be like, I love this. This shit's dope.
I feel like that's how it should be. I feel like there's a certain person that you are that fucks with it. Right. There's other people out there that's gonna fuck with it. You know what I mean? I feel like you make it for you. You know what I mean? People with like minds are gonna be like, and that's who I want to connect with. If you feel where I'm coming from when I say fuck that bitch, you know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? Like fuck that.
There's a lot of worse messages out there. Trust me. So Yeah, I love that shit.
And to be honest, it's like, even for me, it's like, I feel like there's a difference. Like, you can say, when the art that you put out there, you have kids now. So like, how is my daughter gonna feel about me saying fuck that bitch? And then also we have to have the understanding that there's difference between, you know what I mean, women, and there's different levels to where you feel like, you know what I mean, you be like, bitch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So man, I feel like when certain things are done, you relate to, or resort to either evil language, or you know what I mean, whatever you can get back. You know what I mean? And I feel like you what's it called? You learn from that. You know what I mean? I didn't know who I could be. You know what I mean? I didn't know how low I could go. I didn't know how bad I could be hurt. I didn't know how, and either that's going to change you for the worse, and you just be numb and you move forward, or you understand that, you process that, and be like, all right, well, how can I avoid this? But how can I do better? How can I, you know, how can I next time around? You know what I mean? So, but you have to go through that. Fuck that bitch, but like, I mean, phase. You know what I mean? And if you stay there, then you're just destructive. You know what I mean? If nobody's ever told you how you do that, if you never had that example of like, all right, this is somebody who's been through it, who's been through the stage, been through the being hurt, or as low as not wanting to be here. You know what I mean? And knowing how to, you know, overcome that, how to love yourself, how to grow from that, you know, has really been the experience that I want people to understand, and then understand that there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. It doesn't make you weak. To be honest with you, people would think about mental illness and be like, "Oh, that's like weak," or whatever it is. I'm like, bro, that shit's important. You know that. Well, mental health, everybody got that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's your mental health. Right. But then also like dealing with like issues as far as that goes, and being, bro, like that's some of the illest shit you'll ever have to do. It's not being at peace within yourself. You know what I mean? And you can't move, you can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. Right. You know what I mean? So when you see it on my merch, and it'll be releasing, I think at the end of this month, to be honest with you, we have our first wave releasing, but all of it's always upside down. You know what I mean? So you'll look down and see, I fucking love you. It's not for nobody else. You know what I mean?
It's for you to read. Fucking genius. We're gonna go ahead and give him a couple slow snaps for being a genius. But I wanted to talk about what you mentioned about like people like feeling the music. So I had a recent experience where, to make a long story short, like I made up "I'm the Shit" song, right? And to me, and a lot of people was like, "Yo, that's your hard, bro. That's your hard," you know. And I was really proud of it. And I just started working with this new management team to kind of help me and some of the other guys that's with Level Up Music Group. And they were like, "Yeah, bro, I like it. It's just a little hollow." And I'm like, "What the fuck that mean?" You know, like I'm spitting, bro, every bar after bar. What you mean? And again, art is subjective, right? So I'm not gonna take it too personally, but I had a situation with my wife, and one of the ways for me to cope with that was to write her a song. And I wrote this song to an instrumental that's beyond my, not beyond, but just like not what I've released ever. Like nothing. I've never done a song like this. It's like a singer-songwriter poppy joint. And I let people listen, and the management too, and they're like, "That's the one we're releasing. We need to release that." And then I was at this event on Saturday, and I showed it to one of my like really good friends who's actually like a lead singer in a band, plays guitar, like is about that life. And I was like, "Bro, I want your opinion on this song." Bro, he's listening to this song, and by the end of the song, he's in fucking tears, bro. And I'm like, "Oh shit." Like, cause I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, "Man, it's just it was just for my wife. I did it for her," type shit. But like, you really don't know. Like, he was like, "Bro, this spoke to me." Like, he was like, "This is exactly what I'm feeling with my relationship type." You know what I'm saying? And so like, you don't know like what people are gonna get out of your music. So it's important to, in my mind,
that's true to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like that's something else that like people don't understand. It's people are looking for your perspective, right? You know what I mean? If they were looking for his perspective, they go to him for his perspective. What's unique to, like, you know what I mean, and amazing about your shit is you're telling your story. It's your voice. It's like anybody could try to take my lyrics and try to go and do whatever. It ain't gonna sound like me, and it ain't gonna feel like me. You know what I mean? That's why it's me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what's beautiful about the art. Like, you can't trailblaze shit if you going about somebody else did.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like, and for me, I don't really keep up too much on music like nowadays. I try not to have any type of influence or, you know, any type of, you know, when you fuck with something, this is probably like impossible not to what's the word I'm looking for? Emulate it, or you know, it's the biggest showcase of flattery is imitation. You know, so subconsciously you could be like, all right, you know what I mean, start getting a certain flow and then realize like, nah, damn, or, you know what I mean, and it still happens. You try not to have like an influence from anything, but yeah, I try to have like as least of an influence as possible, especially when it comes to certain combinations of how I'm putting bars together. It's like, all right, like I don't want to
make sure it's
I don't want you to hear
unique,
me and feel like anybody. But oh no, like I heard somebody do. Nah, you say
like,
something like
bro,
that.
You sound just like.
Yeah,
in my head. I used to think that was a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. No, but I've noticed that though. Like that should be. It happens to me on accident, bro. Like I'll write a hook or whatever, and then I'll hear another song like, yo, that melody sounds just like the hook I just wrote. Like that's probably where it was just in my subconscious, and it just came out. Like
whenever I had released DMX, they did a write up on it in the city paper, and she said that it was reminiscent of Kendrick, and I was like, fuck, like I don't even listen to Kendrick.
If you sound halfway intelligent in your rhymes, you're like Kendrick.
Yes, sir. But man, no, I really pride myself in being like, nah, like every time I get a beat and I'm influenced to write anything, I try to approach it in a way that's unique to me and as real to me as possible. You know what I mean? So everything has an influence, or it's a certain reason I put everything together. And like when I'm like dead and gone, I want people to be able to go back. You ever see like let's say, I think it's Genius, where they have like the words up.
Kanye's thing? You're not talking about Kanye's documentary?
No.
Okay, because that's the only Genius.
But no,
the Genius, yeah.
Having
the
like the words with
you
know what I mean, the lyrics with the highlighted, you know what I mean, the different highlighted colors. Like I'd be like waiting for them days. And I should go up there. You see like how I put this shit together.
Oh yeah, when they be breaking down the bars. Yeah, I love that.
For sure, man. Like I can't wait till you can like see the flow pattern, see how many times I rhymed, but then it kept the rhyme scheme going, and how hard. Like I grew up like thinking I was gonna compete with like, you know what I mean, 90s, like I mean hip hop, like the people like I mean.
Now, do you actually know because there's like a whole method to rhyming, right? And there's like it's like letters. It's like A B B. I don't know. They have this like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like kind of like a scale book, not for notes, but for how to rhyme different ways. Do you know those different ones? Or?
Like I know, like I guess like a version of that. Like I know like the A. I don't necessarily like use it like that or think about it like that. I more so think of there's like a mid part and an end part. So like I know what if I rhyme something in the middle, I might keep like the middle rhyme scheme the same, but then the end rhyme scheme changes or whatever. You know, one of the things like I always loved about Wu is the witty unpredictable. That's what that Wu stands for. You know, so how they put the rhymes together, or how Meth would put his rhyme scheme together. So you couldn't really tell like when he was going to switch, or you know, for how long he was going to be on this rhyme scheme. And you know, so like for me, I do that, but I don't do it with the A B.
Because I know a few people who like they teach this stuff to kids, actually, and they like know they're called different things, and I forget exactly what it is, but it's so interesting. Like
I don't actually write down my lyrics either. Oh,
you don't write?
No, so like,
do you type them in the phone?
No, so like I just
you on your Jay-Z shit.
No.
He a Jay-Z Lil Wayne, guys.
And I really respect people who freestyle like off top. I don't do that.
Well, JC said he doesn't freestyle. He formulates it in his brain.
Oh, then exactly like
and
that.
And then he just he like literally he says I wrote it in here. and I just spit that shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do
that
it like
shit's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
How long? Okay.
It depends.
Okay. Let's say you love the beat. It's one of them joints. You're like, oh, this is fire. I'm ready to do something on this immediately. How long does it take you to formulate a verse in your head?
It literally depends on how quick like it just comes to me. So there's a lot of times where like I know exactly what I'm gonna say, or I have an idea of it, and it just kind of goes. But if I like lose it, or I feel like I'm like forcing it, I'll just stop and I'll hold on to a beat for like I've had a beat for like years. I still can't write to it. Whereas like it's usually the beats are like fire. You're like, no, whatever this
like
is,
it's so good.
Crazy.
It's got to be your best shit on there. Yep. I feel that.
But I only go off of it, and when it hits me, I won't sit there and be like, oh damn, I gotta write this. Like I don't gotta write shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll go to the beat. I'll fuck with it. If it's not time, I'll just leave it alone. But yeah, and then like so I have songs I've been like working on for a while, and then I have songs I'll just go and I'll write in one night. You know what I mean? I can write something. I think the quickest I've written something was probably like 15 minutes.
Wow.
I've been in the studio and had to like put it together and like rap it right there on the spot. And that's where like I know like my process in the studio. I'd rather like, you know what I mean, have a beat and live with a beat. And I also don't like write lyrics and then find a beat. You know what I mean? Like it's like the beat, I hear the sounds, like it inspires me, it speaks to me, and that's where like, you know what I mean?
Now so are you formulated ahead of time or in the studio kind of
formulated ahead of time?
Okay.
I can do it right there on the spot in the studio, but like
then if it feels forced at that point,
I'll critique it later. It's like, you know what I mean?
See, I like to be in the studio when I write. It's so weird because I used to write just in notebooks, but then what became really difficult was like matching my rhymes to a beat. So I'm like, so maybe trying to find the beat first, and then when I was smarter.
When I was younger, like when I was younger, trying to learn how to write,
right?
Like what's it called? I would write it in the notebook. And back then too, we had to have it like memorized before we went in the studio, because like, you know what I mean, we were putting out like projects after projects, and you know what I mean, but it was like one shot, one kill. Right, you go in there, hit that joint one time. You know what I mean? Like there's pride in that. You know what I mean? So y'all get pizza, right? Like, sorry,
some water, go ahead.
Sorry. But for me, like it just came to a point where I wanted to stop like forcing, the bars. I feel like when you get in that zone, it just kind of speaks to you. It kind of flows, and that's where I think it should be. It's not I don't want to make it a chore. You know what I mean? It's all
because it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. So when I'm in that zone, when I'm like, I'm hard.
Right.
That's what I want to write my shit for.
Right.
For sure.
So I got a fan here. He said, drop a beat. They want you to rap, bro. I told you. See, we've been talking about so much rapping. But now I want to get to a question. This is from King Yoshimitsu. Don't know if I pronounced that right, but
King Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, Yoshimitsu. He says, question: as one of the illest spitters in the game, what's your all-time favorite hip-hop verse that you've heard that's not yours?
Ooh,
it's a good-ass question. Thank you,
Yoshimitsu. One of the illest I just like popped in my head like immediately is Sticky Fingers. What's that? Last Days. I'm thinking about taking my own life. I might as well, except they might not sell weed in hell, and that's where I'm going because the devil's inside of me. Like right, he started snapping and wigging. That's one of the ones that popped in my head. I just remember being like, especially when seeing it live, like, you know what I mean, how he performed it. It was like energy, everything. I felt it. It was like, damn, this nigga a fucking demon. Like, it's so weird. He's a fucking demon.
You got the I don't even know what emoji that is. The steam nose emoji. Smoke emoji. Nah, that's dope. Good question, Yoshimitsu. Did you know that person too?
Yeah.
That's another brother? All the brothers is watching the goddamn podcast. Yeah. I see what you guys are up to. Now, thank you guys for tuning in. If y'all want to get an interview, hit me up.
Hell yeah.
You know
what I'm saying? Make sure y'all get at King Yoshimitsu, man. He tearing shit up. Yeah. I mean, torching the game. He's the fan favorite up on iBattle League. Hell yeah, or what's it called? Battling Killing Niggas, like killing niggas. I mean,
he asked another question.
All right,
this is a good one. What's an artist you would like to? Hold on, I'm about to make sure I'm reading. I'm just like.
You gotta say something wild. Like, right?
Okay, I think he meant to say two, not the. But what's an artist that you would like to battle on wax?
Ooh.
So is this like real beef type?
No, I think we just going for
just bar for bar type.
Yeah, some lyrical anybody like anybody. Right now, I'd like to see Corday.
He's hard.
I like to see Corday just because I feel like he's the next era of that. You know what I mean?
For
of
sure.
Really being held to that regard. Or Joyner.
Yeah. And you can rap fast. I heard you rap fast the other day. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, he could do the fast shit.
I want listen. I definitely like to see that because I like the way his mind works conceptually.
Right.
You know what I mean? For me, I grew up in that I would say that aura of hip hop. You know what I mean? Where it was the battle, it's the competition. You know what I mean? The cipher, where you feel like, you know what I mean? It's all being like, you know. It's all being challenged, you know, whereas like this dude may walk in and be like spit something crazy.
Right.
Whereas now it's like, you know what I mean, it's hard to even get a cipher going where people who lyrically, you know what I mean, about that. And for me, I pride myself lyrically. So like I want to get in that situation where I rap, somebody fucking choose me. You know what I mean? And I feel like
you gotta respond.
Like,
you gotta respond.
Yeah. Hey, hold up, I gotta go to the line. I mean, write some better shit. You know, so I want to see. I mean, what the top dogs is talking about. For real. So anybody who feels themselves to be of that, you know, that caliber of artist, for sure.
Love that. I'm gonna give you a couple slow snaps, and I also just want to mention, like, in terms of like how you know, you're talking about how you were always around that true essence of hip hop and like that competitiveness. Like, I just want to give a shout out to your dad. Because he changed my life too, you know what I'm saying? In terms of like, if it wasn't for him, like I wouldn't have met your brother and Gabe and everything like that, and like just been in that, even met any of those people from the dance scene and stuff like that to get me to where I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like I liked to dance, I didn't love it. You know what I mean? Like so, for sure. I just want to say thank you. DJ Rumble.
Sorry.
I don't even know his real name. I just know him as DJ Rumble. That's all I remember. Okay, so shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. You're the shit. Anywho.
I think we should shine, because I used to like really like prepare to like, you know what I mean, battle, like, you know what I mean, we went there, but like specifically you,
because I was nice with it.
Like, I mean, we used to hype that shit up in rehearsal all the time. Right. Like, you know what I mean, like, you know, we know.
I forgot y'all was so they were so nasty at crumping and shit, dog. Like, I was like, these little kids crump hard as they was like,
and like the isolations and shit. Yeah, shit. So like,
who was the other cuz? What was his name? He had real big shoulders, and he like kind of a big head, always shaved, kind of wave cut, and he would always do he was on y'all squad. He would always do this. He was with like. Oh man, he was the first person I ever seen do the little head ISO thing. I ain't never seen nobody do that before. I was like, yo, what the fuck is that? Because I was still like low key Harlem Shaking back then. I was Harlem Shaking and heel toe, and that's really all I was really doing. A little bit of Michael Jackson here and there, but like there was one. He was always with what's bro's name? Why can't I think of his name? He goes by. He's a rapper now. He goes by. Why is his name slipping me? Forgive me, bro, because I know you probably watching this. Nigga, you forgot my name that quick. You know me for the longest.
Damn.
Frankie Lee. What the fuck is his real name again?
Roland.
Yeah. I was gonna say Raymond. He would always be with Roland and shit, bro. Like, and it was them too, and they were hard as fuck, bro. I remember. I don't know. So much history. That's so wild how full circle this shit really is. Like,
swear, for sure.
Crazy.
Man, I was young as hell.
Yeah. They said they had to prepare for me. Oh, that's flattering. Thank you, yo.
Nah,
That made me feel like I was hard.
like it felt like real
It was those battles were
real
serious.
assassin shit. I'm like,
We didn't like each other. We respected each other, but we didn't like it. We didn't like none of it. Like, yeah, but in my crew,
and when it came to isolations, like, I'm the dreadhead out here.
I
got a squad. I was like, nah, bro. Step out the way, guys. You know what I mean? Isolations, nigga. I need ISO for it. You know what I mean? Y'all stand back real quick. So now we definitely used to prepare. We used to go hard.
It was so much fun. Much fun. All right, man. Well, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Damn, we are at an hour. I do want to ask a serious question. Before we get off, and then I'll let let the people know where they can find you one more time. But this podcast, Level Up Studios in general, what we do, we're all about inspiring people, especially young people of color, but all people really. For sure. We've adopted this sense of like creating this realm of intergenerational learning, which I think is really important because you can learn from someone who's 5 years old and someone who's 60 years old. It doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Especially when we're in the state of being creative. But we always just want to inspire people to be creative and express themselves. So if there's any advice that you can give to any of the listeners and viewers out there, maybe it's somebody who wants to be a rapper and get into music one day, what advice would you give to that person?
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't have too many people input on it. Like, don't overthink it. Don't allow people's advice to shift how you feel. What you should do and what makes sense and what you want to do and what works, they're not always the same thing. And nobody can tell you how it feels to live in it. Nobody can tell you how it feels to be, at the end of the day, no matter, you can explain like everything to somebody, like, no, this is exactly how I feel, how I'm going through. They won't know about the time that you was just daydreaming and looking off. They won't know about the time you was, in your room talking to yourself, or, you're the only person who has to live it. You know what I mean? So when creating, especially, but like, if you want to be godlike or holy or closer to whatever, if you are trying to be in the likeness of your creator, create. Don't question it. Don't hold yourself back. And a lot of times, what you think, oh, it's gonna go bad or anything, it's you're afraid because it's new. You're afraid because it could work. But the more you put, like I say, negativity on the situation and how you think of it, and how you speak of it, we all have a divine power to speak things into existence. And say if we are like our creator, say he said, let there be light, and there was light. I mean, if that's what you subscribe to, then you should believe that your words have power. What you speak, what you think has power. So if you move and be like, all right, this is going to happen, I'm going to do this, and no other variation of it, I hope or I wish. I was like, no, that's only negativity.
It is what it is.
I really hope this, this goes right. It's like, you just fucked yourself.
The universe is listening.
I swear, the energy that you put out, it comes right back. So you try to, every way you try to maneuver, every way you move, make sure that you are you. There's nothing more valuable than your perspective. So if you go ask somebody what they would do, you would be getting their perspective. You know what I mean? A lot of things when it comes to that, you just have to be you. You know what I mean? You have to let it be your process, and don't feel bad for being you. Don't feel bad for being your process, and how you handle things, how you roll things out. Take your time, research, and know what works for you, what you can live with, what you can, look yourself in the mirror every day and be like, this is me. This makes sense. I'm happy. There's nothing more important than that. If you have issues, you're looking to get into this and think that, it's going to, make those issues just magically go away. No, you're going to be successful with issues, or you're going to be struggling with issues, but if you're happy, it makes everything a little bit easier. If you have purpose and you know what you're in it for, it makes everything a little bit easier. For me, knowing that every day I gotta go work. That's some bullshit I don't want to do. But to know that
shit.
when my daughter, you know what I mean, says
Right.
juice, there's fucking juice. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. Nah, dead ass.
Swear. So like, I want to, make sure that everything you do has purpose. Everything you do makes sense, at least to you. And then fuck everybody else. You know what I mean?
Love it.
I tell people all the times, like, I definitely like love the fact that people support it. Love the fact that people fuck with it. You know what I mean? Have the support and the love surrounding me launching and going into my solo effort here has been just amazing. I'm not doing it for nobody else but me. So like people be like, oh yeah, you feel some type of way about it, and like kind of just, I mean, remember what my name is. Right. You know what I mean? Like, just remember what my name is.
Nah, I love that, bro.
Sorry.
Love it. Great advice. You got me thinking about, like, am I doing this for the right reason? I'm joking. But nah, your brother over here talking smack too, talking about we used to smoke, y'all. Lies.
I feel like
it was always even. It was like week by week.
Yeah.
One y'all would lose or we would lose. Don't lie.
I feel like, I mean, I just say this now because it's so many years removed. Right. I feel like it's biased because like the only judge was our pop.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like we won every time.
Nah, he let us win every once in a while. But y'all had some good. I think the difference between y'all and us, we were all college kids. Yeah. Y'all were kids. That was the difference. It's like there was a little girl there that
on our squad.
Yeah,
that's Jaree.
I knew that was fucking Jaree. She told me that was her, and I didn't believe her. I believed her, but I was like, was that really you? She's like, yeah. But she fucking battled my friend Eva, who's up in New York right now. But she was like 5, bro, and she's like in there doing this shit and just jumps up, bow, lands in a split. I was like, yo, you just got smoked. You just got smoked by a 5-year-old, dog. She was like 5, 6. How old was she? She was like, she was young. I knew that was her. I knew it.
Man,
bro, that's full fucking circle. She's our studio manager. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's why I say, I mean, when we came out there with formation, we definitely came to bang.
Yeah, y'all was
hitting flips.
We was just freestyling. Like we was not. I don't think we ever did a routine ever. I don't think.
I mean, that's why we had to take it to that next level. You know what I mean?
But y'all didn't smoke us every time. Okay, we was the shit. We was the real competition out there. Okay, with nobody else competing with y'all but us, you know. But no, I still love y'all. I'm just kind of mad now.
He said, we about to, know, I mean, throw that shit down right now.
Listen, come see me now, though. Yeah, come see me now. Any of y'all. Jaree knows she'll get this smoke right now. He said, we undefeated, yo. No, you not. No, I'm joking.
Swear, we like Cassidy with this shit.
I'm weak.
500.
I'm weak. Well, family, listen. If you're just now tuned in, this is episode 115 of the Level Up Podcast. I got my boy Grizz in the building. We're about to wind it down, but before we leave, my boy Grizz, this is your opportunity to plug yourself, any shout outs you want to give, anything like that, before we hop off, brother.
I want to definitely shout out Level Up. Really appreciate you guys, you know what I mean, giving me the opportunity to come up here and just vibe, you know what I mean, and promote myself in this way. Give a shout out to Ken Yoshimitsu. I mean, killing shit. Got his battle coming up. Is it May 14th? Yeah. Think I'm right now. I mean, if not, correct me. You know what I mean? In the comments, he's about to kill shit. I don't even know who he's going against, and it don't matter. Anybody you put up against him, it's just a murder scene. So I mean, I'll be taking that trip. I mean, to see it in person. I mean, identify the body. Hopefully I learned his name beforehand, so I can identify him properly. So I want to shout out XZA. You know what I mean? We got that track out right now. XZA is doing amazing shit. You know what I mean? Bop Poppy's out here doing amazing shit. Jada Music out here doing amazing shit. They doing amazing shit together. They just dropped a track, same page the other day. Who else I'm missing? Zay. They killing shit. What's it called? Skate World 2. I mean, New World Order doing shit. I want to shout out Olivia Ryan. Just if you want to see me live, I got a show coming April 23rd, Saturday. Killing shit out there. Oakland Pop Festival, Shinley Plaza. I got LV performing with me. I got XZA performing with me. 40-minute set. Come vibe with me. You get a full live in effect. Feel on what it's like to experience a Grizz concert. It'll be my first time performing in 6 years, so it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be a history, a moment. You want to find out anything about me, any of my music, anything we have coming up, any merchandise, go to www.fuckyougrizz.com. Remember, fuck you silent. So you run up on me in person, don't come up, fuck you, Grizz. I'm like, huh? Like, what's up? It's Grizz, it's all love. And we have my project dropping 12/22/22, end of this year. I fucking love you. We have all the merch dropping here soon. Y'all go to the website for that as well. Just know that there's a lot more coming. A lot more coming. Been doing this for a long time, and this is what I do. It's what I love to do, and it's what I'll continue to do until I can't do shit no more.
I love it. Yeah. Can you still dance?
Yeah, I could bust it out a little something. I've been trying to get this that new like trend shit, that new moonwalk shit.
I can't do that shit to save my life.
I busted it out last night.
Really?
You know what I mean?
You got it?
I didn't film it yet. You know what I mean? So they said, I feel like I got it.
Okay.
Though, you feel me? But no, my gliding's still crazy. My moonwalk's still crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that,
that's about it though. That's about it. No, that's
I make it look like I could do some shit.
Right?
Shit and be like,
it's like riding a bike, bro. What you do it once, you can do it again. You just gotta stretch it. Shit.
I got one of those tuck combinations,
right?
Still, you know what I mean? Like, just one, just to show you a little bit. Right? Like, nah, man, you ain't fucking with me. I can't give you all that.
Right?
I swear, man.
Nah, I love it. Well, family, listen. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's podcast. We will be back next week with yet another. But please, of course, follow Level Up Studios. We are at leveluppgh.com on everything. Also on social media, we're just Level Up PGH. You can find us. You can find me, your boy Mario Quinn, at The Mind of Quinn on everything. And of course, please check out my website, www.mariocquinn.com. This has been episode 115. Grizz, thank you so much. This has been a great interview, bro. I feel like I got to know you better, so that's dope. So thank you. Liv, thank you. And we out, family. Peace.